Blessed be my spiritualists, and welcome to another episode of Which Please. It is I, Odin here, and today we are going to be talking about uncomfortability. Yes, that thing that repels us from doing things that we want to do. That thing that is intended to challenge us, to allow us to push through. You see, when you think of Jesus on the cross, when you think of Buddha starving, when you think of Moses in the desert, these are all uncomfortable times. These were all times that were not for persecution so much as to allow people to be comfortable with that uncomfortability, to allow them to be able to push through, to overcome. Now, what does this do? This allows for us to be able to challenge ourselves. It allows for us to be able to truly understand the strength that is within inside of us. It gives us the opportunity to be able to say, you know what, if I want something bad enough, I'm going to do it. Uncomfortability, fear, whatever it may be, is not going to limit me, nor is it going to stop me from reaching my goals and my dreams. That's what uncomfortability is for. And what we need to learn to do is become comfortable with uncomfortability. I've had so many spiritualists who say, oh, I didn't do this because it didn't feel right, or I didn't do this because I felt uncomfortable in this situation. Does that give you carte blanche to not do it? No, honey. It is an opportunity for you to realize that there is something right here that you need to learn how to be able to work through, work past, get over. Because when you do this now, you have the method. You know how to be able to deal with this uncomfortability so it no longer has control over you or your life. You now have control over that. Now, how do I gauge uncomfortability? Right? If something makes me uncomfortable that challenges me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to continue. I'm going to push my way through. I am going to figure out. Because again, I know now that this uncomfortability has been set in place for me to challenge myself. Okay? Now, when it comes to something where I'm uncomfortable because I'm angry at somebody, or I want to cause damage or pain or persecute or whatever it is, and I have that itching feeling of destructiveness, honey, that uncomfortability is not for me to go and destroy another person. That's not what it's intended to do. That, again, is an opportunity for me to look deep within myself, become comfortable with that uncomfortability, to be able to overcome that uncomfortability, to stand in my own personal power, to allow me to better myself and allow the Yod, the Buddha, the God within to really manifest in this reality, to really be a very present part of my reality, of my world. So I wanted to share this video with everybody because I want you to understand that uncomfortability is not something that needs to be, run away from at all costs, needs to be kept at an arm's length. No, darling, you need to challenge yourself. And to challenge yourself is going to be uncomfortable in most cases. And when you try and avoid that, you are avoiding challenging yourself. You are avoiding your own personal evolution. If you take a look at all of the world's spiritual belief structures and religions and whatnot, there is a form of uncomfortability that is there. And again, some people may be thinking, well, how does this work if I'm, this part of this religion, and they say that homosexuality is a sin, or, women should be lesser than men, or what have you. Does it create a vibration of inclusivity? Does it create a vibration of unity? If it does not, then again, that is not divine. If it creates a sense of inclusivity, unity, right? That is divine. That is something that you need to challenge. Okay, you need to be like, okay, you know what? I'm uncomfortable with something that is connective. It's connective. I have an uncomfortability with this. I need to challenge myself and get over this, right? When somebody comes to me, and I've had people say, oh, I have an issue with homosexuals, it's against my belief structure, and it makes me very uncomfortable. Well, how many illusions have been created because of uncomfortability? How many conditions have we had placed on us? It wasn't too long ago that, interracial couples were frowned upon. People were beaten, people were killed, right? We still do this today in different parts of the world. I mean, we don't like a certain group of people because we fear them, because we're uncomfortable around them, because of all the illusions that we bought in. We need to challenge ourselves. We need to challenge ourselves and say, hey, wait a minute. The divine is putting this here for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. So every time we have all of these things that are going on in this world right now that we are bemoaning the fact of and finding so intolerable and so disgusting and so this and so that and so the other, they're happening for a reason, y'all, and we have to realize that. Challenge yourself, right? Don't go out there and be screaming and yelling and doing that. There's a time and a place for picketing and whatnot. I get it. I'm with you. I'm very much with you. Challenge yourself, because the fact of the matter is that you may be appalled in one area, but you may be doing the same thing in another area, and you just haven't drawn the connections. We need to understand that uncomfortability, that vibration, that fear is a consciousness. And whether you feed in it through bigotry, through bias, through illusion, or you feed in it through ignorance, it's the same thing. You're still feeding that consciousness. Every time something comes into your reality that you're uncomfortable with, analyze it. Break it down. Draw the connections of where these are, this right here in your life. Where are you applying this? Where are you doing this in other areas of your life that you don't even realize has the exact same vibration in this area? The divine is going to show you ways of evolution, of enlightenment. And they may not be able to show you it in this certain way because you hold an illusion or a view and you don't see anything wrong with it. And I don't want to use the word wrong, but you don't see the limiting structure of it in this way. So the divine will show you. Energy takes the path of least resistance. They will show you in this way. Hey, I'm uncomfortable here. Wait a minute, let me take a look at this uncomfortability. So you may have somebody who's like, they're out on the street and they're fighting for, Black Lives Matter. But yet they can sit there and meet somebody who is a ginger and say, it's really not my preference. You're not my type. There is more. I think it was India Ari that said, I am not my hair, I am not my skin, I am not your expectations of me, darling. Again, two different situations, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be really upset to hear me say this. And you know what, y'all? Here on Which Please, we give it to you straight, no chaser. We are told by external forces what is right and what is wrong. There is no right and there is no wrong. There is a vibration, okay? And that vibration is inclusive or repellent. And people feed into this vibration all the time. And they literally will go out, picket, fight, do these things. But yet they're feeding into that consciousness in other areas of their life. So all the work that they're doing is counterproductive. We have to start seeing things in a more open way. We have to start knowing that a vibration is a vibration is a vibration. If you want to dissipate that vibration for a more inclusive world, you need to take the time and realize what you do in your day-to-day life that is feeding into this energy. Now, if you start doing that, because you'll find that when you start doing that, you don't have to go out and do all these things. You don't have to go out because you're handling it from your own life. You are being that change you want to see in others. You now have become the vibration of connectivity. You have become the vibration of enlightenment. You are now within that fold, right? You are now that being. You are now a vessel. You are a beacon for that type of vibration. So when I talk to people about spirituality, yes, it's about internal alchemy. When you start holding a vibration and you're not buying into the illusions of this is socially acceptable and this is not socially acceptable. Once you start doing that and you start saying, hey, this is connected to this is socially acceptable, this is not socially acceptable, but there's still the same vibration, right? So I'm going to be neutral in this. I'm going to be neutral. I'm not going to, I understand the law of duality, but I'm going to be neutral here, and I'm going to allow myself to not be swayed either way. Right? I'm going to pick that one path, that path of love, because as far as I'm concerned, the path of love is neutrality. It is free of illusion, it is free of bias, it is free of conditioning, it is free of all of those things. So yes, when you start challenging yourself and are able to hold that neutral state within inside of yourself, you now are a beacon for that vibration. You know, yeah, we see a lot of things going on in this world right now. We see a lot of pain, we see a lot of struggling, we see a lot of bias, we see a lot of conditioning, we see all of these things. But the fact of the matter is, they are all there for a reason. Don't turn a blind eye to it. Don't persecute with it. Don't judge with it. Don't do any of these things. Understand that it's there. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to be a being of love. Challenge yourself to understand what's going on, because you know what? You don't know what happened in someone's life that drew them to where they are right now. Okay? You need to be that being of love. You need to be that neutral force. You need to hold that vibration, darling, because when you start doing that, everything around you changes. When we go and try and force someone to have a different opinion, we're not helping them. Okay, we are literally causing more problems with that. We are restricting somebody's views. When you become neutral and you let them into your home and you break bread with them and you do for them what you can and you understand who they are and why they're in that state at this point in time, and you challenge that uncomfortability, and you allow yourself to bring them in, you will realize that that will change someone's soul. It will change them so deeply, so profoundly, that they will never be able to hold that vibration again in that instance. And I think I put it in a video where I had somebody who didn't want to hang out with me, didn't want to work with me because I was gay. I let them into my world. I showed them compassion and understanding and caring. And he told me that I'm his best friend. Right? I could have went against him. I didn't. What's the point? I was put in that situation for a reason. And yeah, I had to challenge myself because I was uncomfortable. And not only did I have to challenge myself, I had to challenge him in the most loving way because he was uncomfortable. That's the divine working through you. So, when you're faced with something that makes you uncomfortable, remember, it's happening for a reason. Figure out what that is. Analyze it. See where that uncomfortability has a role or plays a part in other areas of your life. Once you figure that out, now you can release that vibration, right? Take the middle path and watch yourself become a beacon of transformation. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be uncomfortable your whole life when I start talking about uncomfortability and becoming comfortable with uncomfortability, because as soon as you become comfortable with uncomfortability, it no longer has power over you and you're no longer uncomfortable. And if you're asking me what the goal is, why would you want to do this? The end goal here is to bring this vibration, this earthly vibration, into a more understanding, more inclusive. Right? It's about bringing us back together. It is about honoring and acknowledging that we are all one, that we all come from the divine, no matter what you want to call it. We are the ones who are the co-creators. We are the ones here who have created this planet to be the way it is. We are the ones that also have the power now to be able to change it into what we collectively are intended to do. To bring it to that place, to bring us into enlightenment. In the light is where we are meant to be. And I'm not going to say that I don't struggle with these things too. I'm just going to be honest. I'm human, honey. This is part of the human experience. I've had to challenge myself in many different ways. I had to be uncomfortable in many different ways. Like even look at Jesus on the cross. Why have you forsaken me, my Father? Right? Because it's hard. It's hard. hard. Take a look at Moses. Moses died just before he got into the promised land, right? It is. It's not an easy path, right? And it's going to make you uncomfortable. But again, we have to understand, if it is going to make us uncomfortable, and we have to go through this uncomfortability to learn, to grow, to become comfortable with it, to evolve, to all of these different things, to be able to, then it's there for a reason. We cannot deny that. We cannot put it by the wayside because we don't like it. We have to embrace it. We have to do with it what is best. We have to, like the Buddha, we need to understand enlightenment. We need to understand neutrality. We need to be able to stand in this middle area that allows things to happen around us, yet we still hold the vibration of inclusivity, oneness, unity. And all of these games, all these things are playing around us. Duality, illusion, confusion, anger, resentment, all of these things are playing around because that's what they're there for. They need to be there to allow us to have an experience. They need to be there to give us duality. We can't have one without the other. Right? So we can go to one extreme if we want to, because that's an experience that we want to have, or to the other extreme if we want to, because that's the experience that we want to have. And let me tell you, as a spiritualist, sometimes I like to go over on one side and sometimes I'm over here, right? And that's also for a reason. That's also for a purpose. So I don't want people to be thinking, oh, I did this and I feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about that. You went there for a reason. You had to have that experience to be able to learn something. So you are going to go there. Everything happens for a reason, right? But once you start learning about becoming comfortable with uncomfortability, you'll find that you don't get caught in that, or you don't get caught in this. It's a moment in time. You take the lesson, you get back to the middle path, the path of neutrality, and you move on from it. You are not just healing yourself and growing and evolving. You're bringing the universal. You are bringing all the consciousness on this plane of existence. You're bringing it up. I see so many spiritualists who go out, and this is one of the things that I have to honestly tell you that I struggle with a lot, because I see a lot of spiritualists who have a tendency to go to this event and this thing and that thing and the other thing, and they will meditate and they will do that and they will do the other. But when I sit down and talk to them about spirituality, what I'm given from them is really not helping. And I know that they are going there and trying to bring this consciousness up, this universal vibration up. I know what they're trying to do, and that's great, but it's almost like picketing. They're going and they're doing that, but they're holding this vibration still within them, which is counterproductive to the thing that they're trying to actually manifest. And I just kind of look at them and I'm like, wow, you have missed such a big portion of what this is. You are the microcosm, you are the macrocosm. If you are transforming yourself into this vibration, everything externally will also transform into this vibration. However, if you are seeing yourself as outside of this reality, if you are seeing yourself as something else, rather than being a part, a force within this vibration, and you're not changing yourself, darling, you are not really changing anything. That may be a little harsh. People may not like to hear that, but there it is. I'm going to end this one with a blessing. To all the Witch Please family members, I bless you with comfortability in uncomfortability. I bless you with universal love and inner strength. I bless you with the ability to challenge yourself, to see through illusions, to the divinity that is truly inside of you, to understand who you are, to know your place within the universal consciousness, to feel connected, to feel loved. May the divine bless you, hold you deeply within themselves. I, Odin the Seer, son of the Shining Ones, bless you, and it be so. And that is our episode for today, witches. If you have not pressed subscribe, you know you need to press subscribe, join the Witch Please family, and do not miss out on a thing. You can follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, as well as Facebook. You can always send me a personal email at witchpleaseofficial@gmail.com, or you can leave a message below and I'll try and get back to you. Remember, don't forget to press that icon so you're notified when something new comes out, because again, you know you don't want to miss a thing. I said it before, witches, and I'll say it again. It is a pleasure to have you in my world. It is an honor to have you in my magic. And you are always in my heart. I will see you again on another episode of Witch. Please. I love you, boo-boo. Bye-bye. Well,